Hi, Akansha. Uh, do you need any access? No, I can hear you and your videos also on.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna go on mute right now because I'm gonna go on a different call. Yeah, but if you need me, just you can call out to me. I can hear you. Okay.
So, will you promote Priya also as a panelist in between when she comes in?
Yeah. Whoever comes on, I'll keep promoting them.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
Let's see.
Hi, Akansha. There is Madhulika and there's Bandana. Do any one of them need to be promoted?
No. It's just Priya, just only Priya, and the panelists. I think they will come on board as panelists because they'll use that link. Is it Himanshi or Kavya? Himanshi, okay. Himanshi, can you just tell me one thing? That is my eye level. I mean, is it when I talk like this, is it facing the camera, or when I talk like this, is this the
Eye level?
This is fine, right? It's not talking. My eyes are not downwards, but it's like straight. The gaze is straight, or
Yeah.
okay. So it doesn't look odd. Or my screen needs to be tilted a bit. I don't know.
To the left, then you'll be bang in the center. Like if you can shift your laptop to the left a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's wait for others. Hi. Your microphone is turned off. So, yes. Himanshi, hi, Ita. Your microphone. Himanshi, Priya has joined. Yeah, so if you can promote her.
I can't see her as an attendee. I'm just.
Okay, okay. She just texted me.
Yeah, I can see her on WhatsApp. Wait, I'll ask.
And will you try making it speaker view so that only the speaker is visible on the screen, and that's how we would like it to be broadcasted?
Yeah.
Let's kind of stick to that.
You guys have found very white walls behind you, man. I don't have any such completely white walls.
You want to know exactly the setting? I can't sit properly because I hurt my knee. So just for you guys, there's a table on my bed and
Gymnastics.
not professional. From my perspective, it doesn't look professional at all.
That's the beauty of these Zoom transformation. What's below the frame? It will make a really interesting project. What's outside the frame?
I can't do the webinar on my bed, so I try to find an arrangement.
How's Hasina, Basanti?
She's okay.
She's okay. So it wasn't positive, is it?
It is positive.
It is.
She has a mild version of it.
Okay. So she's at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is that they have stopped testing people with mild symptoms.
Yeah. And they've stopped even quarantining anymore, no? Like my colony, there's like several cases suddenly over the past week, and there's no idea of who has it because they don't quarantine anymore.
Yeah.
They've lost track of being able to do it.
But the problem is that once you have it and let's say you feel better, you don't know when you are not contagious anymore, no longer contagious.
I can come back.
It's gonna take weeks. Hi.
Hi.
I see Atul. Hi Atul, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, yeah, we can see you.
Hi, Kristine.
Okay, hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi. We can't hear Kristine at the moment. You have to unmute yourself.
Excuse me?
Kristine, unmute yourself.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
All good?
All good. So maybe Ita, do you want to try your presentation? Do you want to just do it?
Yeah, sure. And Tahsin's just coming online as well. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Himanshi?
Where is Tahsin?
I was online with him right now. He's coming also.
Hi. Do you guys want something?
Yeah, Himanshi, Ita needs to share her screen.
It says host disabled attendee screen sharing, Himanshi.
Tahsin is. Hello? Yeah, Tahsin. Hi. जो मेल तुम्हें KNM में किरनाडर म्यूजियम ऑफ आर्ट no reply at zoom.us से आया होगा
नहीं हो रहा है co-host now.
ओके तो मैं तुमको दूसरा लिंक भेज रही हूँ तुमको 1 मिनट दो मुझे मैं दोबारा दूसरा लिंक भेज रही हूँ click me on.
I'll just see again.
Okay. I'll just send it.
Yeah, now it's working, Himanshi.
Who else needs to share their screen? I think I'll have to. all of them post.
So Tahsin needs to, so he's not able to click that link to come online right now. So the panelist email that we had sent to him. So Himanshi, is it possible for you to email him right now? A panelist email?
I sent him the email again right now.
Yeah, you can share his email ID and I'll send it to you.
I'll just send it to you so that he comes on as a panelist instead of an attendee. One second, I'll just send it to you.
Oh, that's nice.
This works, no? You can see it all.
Yeah.
How do I make it full screen? Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just going over like the years of the teaching fellowship, each one actually, and a few highlights from every year and how it kind of like every year is like unique. So that was a very good idea actually that came up last time between all of you to just explore how it's kind of grown and evolved. So that is what I shall do. And then leave it at the previous year so that Tahsin can go into this year.
Yeah, super.
Himanshi, I just sent you Tahsin's email ID. हाँ जैसे ना आपको एक और ईमेल आएगा अभी ठीक है तो उसमें अब जो ईटा ने ईमेल भेजा उसमें उस पर क्लिक कर नहीं हो रहा है ना
I've shared it with him.
आउट हो गया ओ कोई बात नहीं ओके या ओके परफेक्ट
I've shared it with him.
But yeah, he's there.
Okay.
He's joined us. Unmute yourself. Okay. And so do you want to test your screen share once, Tahsin? And after that, Himanshi will do speaker view only. Yeah. So I mean, like at the moment we can see all of us.
No,
Does it say Ita on Tahsin's thing?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Why? There's two of me.
How?
कौन सा लिंक क्लिक कर एंटर किया आपने
I think
जो अभी
link Geeta sent me.
Okay.
so maybe do you want to
Yeah.
come back again
Yeah, I come back.
with the link that has just now been shared with you?
Yeah. Okay.
The individual links. Huh?
Yeah, because then there are these names.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting.
Akansha, do you need to share your screen during the webinar?
No, I don't. Only Ita and Tahsin. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So do we need to be on Facebook as well, or we don't have to open that at all?
No,
right?
you don't need to, but someone from your team.
Yeah, that they are.
That
They will be on it.
5:30. Share it. And yeah, if Basanti, you also can. Someone from your team can share it on Tara Home's page or something. Like the more shares we get on our live.
I'm very bad with social media, so they have to share the live on our own page.
Yeah, on their own page, from the KNMA page, from the Kiranadri Museum of Art page, if they can share. I mean, the more shares we get, more viewing. That's an algorithmic.
Can you please just see if you are able to share your screen? I've promoted you to co-host.
Okay.
That's neat.
Yeah.
हो रहा है screen share?
Okay. Just a minute. Yes. Okay. Sound. Sound is okay. Huh?
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Full screen भी एक बार try कर सकते हो अगर.
Yeah. I just clicked. थोड़ा slow. Okay. Okay.
Jijo, Himanshi, sound quality is fine. Any disturbances from any
Not for me.
activities?
Okay. It's okay. I think.
Even in the animation, Tahsin, you can see if the film full screen करके वो video जो था,
Yeah. Okay.
if that is like going full screen properly. Yeah. So maybe you can like make it full screen then start it.
Mom, can I go outside?
ठीक है.
I'm feeling like a proud mom.
Yeah.
One of my teammates is saying that that Tahsin's screen is getting cropped.
Screen.
Is it so? Is it?
Like
See,
It looks fine
my
to me.
screen?
Yeah, as you share.
what you're sharing. Okay, from the bottom. Because of the zoom, maybe that's because
Maybe
of
the
zoom.
okay.
The bottom black panel, no? I think that's
No.
just the zoom screen then. I don't think they can really adjust that.
Yeah, because I can see the full window, like full.
Yeah, the
it's a
window's full.
Window's full.
So Tahsin, do you think that's enough, Akansha, to show all the pages, or should we be showing 2 of the pages of the website? Just go through it all?
I think just couple of pages. I think
Couple of
10
pages.
couple of pages and
Yeah.
animations and
Yeah,
and
so the animation one, Tahsin, that's definitely because you're talking about it, and then the art
Yes.
and the lockdown, no? That you want.
kind of signs out. The week just carry on, continue, and then it's okay.
Right.
We just fill up the over end.
So on this, it already says recording. That means it's recording from mine, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, I now Atul needs to come back, and Basanti also needs to come back. You call Basanti, and I'll call Atul.
Basanti's here.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Everyone's here. Being mysterious.
Okay. Okay. So, Himanshi, are we good to go live then? It's 5:27. The good thing is we can be on time and right. Please do tell us when we are live, okay?
Yes.
We can all mute ourselves, I guess.
Send me a message. Another 2 minutes. What is the sound at the back? Is it coming from someone's?
Might be a fan. We cannot mute ourselves.
No, is it fan or is it? I can hear some bells. I can hear bells ringing.
Okay.
Am I the only one? Ah,
From my
बाहर
side.
से? हाँ, कहाँ से?
Yeah, from my side, like to
Okay,
the
that's okay.
gardens.
You can, when we're not talking, you could mute.
We mute ourselves.
My headphone is not working properly.
No, but you can, on the thing, on Zoom, you can mute yourself if you.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, that makes it much better. It's like being in a waiting room.
This confidence and interest now kind of awakened in the process of making. There's this very interesting thing that happens of, you know, cross-cultural, cross-language, cross-class interaction made possible because I feel like there's this nurturing environment, but also there's this common shared interest in making, in the fact that you all have this language now of doing and shaping and tools. And so the kids at the British School are very, you know, they're showing techniques that they are know, and they're showing how to do things on the wheel. And so are some of these students, you know, experimenting and showing what they can do. So there's a very interesting conversation that builds up, which I think is really critical to look at this day, when there's this huge divide between education happening. What are the instances when education can meet and cross class divides, cultural divides? When can and how early can this happen? I think that this is an instance of this actually happening as part of the fellowship. To move ahead, the fellowship before Tahsin's, the last year in 2019-20, we had Megha Madan lead 20 young people again at Karmar Care Home. Karmar is a little outside Delhi, and it's special in the sense that it has a larger space than many of the homes located within the city. And so here we were able to do these, you know, large sprawling kind of installations, and the students ended up with this huge thing that they called a photo booth, and behind it is lots of these imaginative, otherworldly creations of theirs. So even though there's a lot of skills involved in the year, but there's also a lot of this individual storytelling, and there not being any idea of like there being instructive ends to what your skill is towards. So you take your skill and you're learning perspective, and you're learning how to paint and how to mold with clay and how to print. But that is then your tools to express your perspective of the world. So here this huge photo booth came out. And then we shifted it all to the space of KNMA. And like I said earlier, the exhibition was never the end goal of the project, but it has become a really kind of interesting and significant addition now to it, because it's an added skill that students are then picking up, because they are part of the days before the exhibition, the open day of the exhibition, which would happen at this time. They come in, and together we kind of think of what installation means. What are the practical, logistical ways that you think of where, what, how in an exhibition space? And of course, Akansha and the KNMA team is very involved at that point. So that is actually then becomes this whole added learning of the fellowship, and comes full circle when on the open day, these students are able to take walkthroughs of people who are coming in, and other care homes are also very much invited in. take walkthroughs for those people coming in. So for them, it's this a learning experience of the curatorial, but also a huge, enormous boost of confidence to be able to do that and enter their work and claim this space also for themselves in a way. So the exhibitions have been an additional kind of component that now is very much part of the fellowships as well. This is the exhibition of the previous year at Salam Balak Trust. And again, the Salam Balak Trust with the Gili Mitti exhibition with Sonam. There were these cyanotypes also, which bring in, you can see the nature elements from around the home. So yeah, it's really, you know, when I see the works, I know where they were created, on the rooftop with no studio facility. And looking at the works, I mean, people were coming in and there was no idea that this is children's work made in the space of a rooftop of a care home. So it's really interesting what happens to the journey of the work as well. I just also would like to add that after these years are over for the participants of the teaching fellowship, there is an alumni program, because we kind of, you know, after 1 year of this rigorous, intensive kind of foundational course, and when interests have arisen and, you know, there's confidence in the ability that you can express yourselves, there is an alumni program called the Art Room, where the students are able to then meet once a month post the fellowship to think of what next with us. And we organize then internships, mentorship programs, and actually Atul here had taken in 2 of the alumni into his studio, and to get this next stage of like, how can we prepare for art colleges? What are the real world ways that creative people are able to work as photographers, animators? And this is, even at 16 and 17, a lot of these care home students, we have to think, have to do this, because there is a very real world pressure for them to support themselves, even at 18 a lot of the time. And so, I mean, I'm happy to know that right now, over this past year, we've had 10 students go through really, you know, good internship programs. And one of them, just since June 1st, has actually got a permanent job in a leading textile design firm. So in Delhi. So these are, of course, every student, nobody is even demanding or thinking that every student has to, you know, enter this creative field, but there is a possibility that it is feasible. One has to address the fact that this is very much mainstream education as well. It is creative skill development, which allows students to imagine possibilities of the future for themselves as well. So yeah, this is, you know, how the teaching fellowships is growing and evolving. And of course, the one that's ongoing, Tahsin will tell us about. So I won't go into that one right now. Yeah.
Yes, maybe now Tahsin can take us through the Moving World exhibition and talk about his process of making it and manifesting it with the young artist of Tara Holmes. And, you know, because it's not like one workshop or the other, you know, it's like going back again and again and carrying the momentum from one activity to the other and managing the momentum and the flow continuously. So Tahsin, would you take over now? You have to unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I thanks Artreach-KNMA for this teaching fellowship. Actually, ये पूरा teaching fellowship मेरे लिए एक different experience के साथ था, because ये पूरा का पूरा teaching fellowship जो structured way of teaching है उससे बिल्कुल अलग था. ये बहुत ही involving और इंगेजिंग था स्टूडेंट के साथ, और ये बहुत ही पर्सनल टच के साथ हर एक स्टूडेंट्स के साथ जो प्रोसेस था काम करने का, ये बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट था पूरे मॉड्यूल में. और सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट कि एक डिफरेंट एज ग्रुप के स्टूडेंट्स थे जिनके साथ वर्क करना, एक मॉड्यूल डिजाइन करना और उनके साथ वर्क करना, ये भी बहुत ही एक अपने आप में इंटरेस्टिंग और चैलेंजिंग प्रोसेस है पूरा. और सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट ये था कि जो मॉड्यूल में एक फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी होती है जो एकेडमिक से बिल्कुल अलग, जो मैंने देखा, जो कि कहीं ना कहीं बहुत ही फ्लेक्सिबल वे में आप अपने मॉड्यूल को डिजाइन कर सकते हो अकॉर्डिंग टू स्टूडेंट्स, और बहुत पर्सनल. तो ये जो मूविंग वर्ल्ड्स जो एग्जीबिशन है ये जो 18 पार्टिसिपेंट स्टूडेंट्स थे तारा होम से, उनका एक आउटकम है, उनकी इमेजिनेशन है, उनके फीलिंग्स हैं, उनका एक जो उनके ड्रीम्स में कैरेक्टर्स थे, उनका जो अपने एक हिडन स्टोरीज थी, वो उसका एक आउटकम है थ्रू एक शॉर्ट एनिमेशन फिल्म के थ्रू। सो दैट्स व्हाई इस पूरे मॉड्यूल का जो मूविंग वर्ल्ड कॉन्सेप्ट है। तो ये जो पूरा मॉड्यूल है, पूरे ईयर का जो टीचिंग फेलोशिप है, इसको मैंने दो स्ट्रक्चर में, दो फेजेस में डिवाइड किए थे, जिसमें कि एक्चुअली क्या है कि एनिमेशन कराना था, और एनिमेशन में जो प्रोसेस है, सो टेक्निक इन्वॉल्व होते हैं काफी। सो जो टेक्निक्स इन्वॉल्व होते हैं हमें, तो वो टेक्निक्स कैसे बहुत ही मिनिमल टेक्निक्स को यूज करके और ये मॉड्यूल डिजाइन करना है, ये भी दिमाग में रखना था। तो उसके लिए सबसे जरूरी था कि जो कैमरालेस टेक्निक्स हैं, ज़ोया ड्रॉप्स और जो फ्लिप बुक्स हैं, और जो हैंड ड्रॉन जो क्लासिकल एनिमेशन प्रोसेस था, उस प्रोसेस को इंक्लूड करके, और ये सारे जो एनिमेशन का प्रोसेस है वो डिजाइन किया गया। तो एनिमेशन, sorry, I'm sharing. So प्रोसेस जो एनिमेशन का जो प्रोसेस था, ये पूरे के पूरे मॉड्यूल को डिजाइन करने के लिए दो फेजेस में डिजाइन किया। पहला था कि सबसे पहले बहुत जरूरी था कि अंडरस्टैंडिंग, ये कि बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग बहुत जरूरी थी, क्योंकि जो प्रोसेस है एनिमेशन का, उसमें जो ड्राइंग बेस्ड और उसके लिए कॉम्पोजिशन सेंस, उसके लिए जो स्किल डेवलप करना है, तो एक फेज उसमें था जिसमें कि पेपर कटआउट, देन पेपर कटआउट के साथ आउटडोर लैंडस्केप एंड साथ में लाइव ड्राइंग्स, ताकि वो साथ साथ अपने सराउंडिंग को समझ पाए और अपने सराउंडिंग में जो एलिमेंट्स हैं उनसे वो थोड़ा फैमिलियर हो पाए, और उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग वो थ्रू ड्राइंग्स और थ्रू शेडिंग्स वो समझ पाए। तो सबसे पहले उन्होंने पेपर कटआउट्स किए। सो दिस इज द वर्क जो कि फर्स्ट मॉड्यूल में, ताकि वो जो स्टॉप मोशन एनिमेशन है वो पूरा का पूरा, जैसे जो कॉम्पोजिशनल सेंस है, तो फ्रेम एनिमेशन के लिए जो फ्रेम है ना, वो समझना बहुत जरूरी था। तो सबसे पहले उन्होंने शुरुआत जो की, तो वो फ्रेम, नेगेटिव स्पेस कैसे समझेंगे, पॉजिटिव स्पेस, नेगेटिव स्पेस को किस तरह से समझेंगे, और वो पूरा प्रोसेस सारा का सारा जो बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर को डिजाइन करते हुए उन्होंने ड्राइंग्स एंड आउटडोर लैंडस्केप। तो आउटडोर्स में भी उन्होंने डायरेक्ट वहां पे फ्रेम करके, कंपोज करके चीजों को कंपोज करना सीखा। देन जो सारे ड्राइंग्स थे, जो उनका प्रोसेस था, जो लर्निंग था, जब उन्होंने बेसिक टेक्निक्स, सो इन्हीं ड्राइंग्स के स्किल से और इन्हीं कटआउट से उन्होंने सेकेंड फेज, जो कि सेकेंड फेज था, वो मूविंग इमेजेस। तो मूविंग इमेजेस में उन्होंने जो भी ड्राइंग्स उन्होंने स्किल डेवलप किए थे, उन इमेजेस को सीक्वेंस वाइज मूवमेंट से वो किस तरह से एनिमेशन क्रिएट करेंगे। तो उसके लिए उन्होंने सबसे पहले फ्लिप बुक एनिमेशन से प्रोसीड किया। तो फ्लिप बुक एनिमेशंस में क्या था कि वो जब ड्राइंग कर रहे थे, तो एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट था कि उनका इन्वॉल्वमेंट, जब उन्होंने ड्रॉ किया, देन सीक्वेंस ड्रॉ किया, और फिर उन्होंने फ्लिप किया, और जब वो मूवमेंट शुरू आया, तो उनका जो एक्साइटमेंट था वो काफी मतलब ज्यादा बढ़ गया था। और उस समय जो एक्साइटमेंट के साथ क्या था कि जो डायलॉग्स थे उनके वर्क में, पहले जो ड्रॉ कर रहे थे, वो ड्रॉइंग्स की पॉसिबिलिटीज और बढ़ने लगी, वो और ज्यादा इन्वॉल्व हुए, मल्टीपल ड्राइंग्स करने लगे, सीक्वेंस में ड्राइंग करने लगे। सो ड्राइंग के साथ जो उनका अटैचमेंट है ना, वो और ज्यादा डेवलप होना शुरू हुआ, और डायनेमिक्स भी बहुत सारे हैं, मूवमेंट्स, मतलब वो अगर ड्रॉ सीधा कर रहे थे, तो उन्होंने थोड़े से एक्शंस डायनेमिक्स के साथ और डिफरेंट एक्शंस के साथ भी ड्राइंग करना शुरू किया, और वो सीक्वेंस क्रिएट होना शुरू हुआ। सो दैट वाज द इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट, कि जहां पे मुझे ऐसा लगा कि ये एंजॉय भी कर रहे हैं और टेक्निकली चीजों को लर्न भी कर रहे हैं उसमें। तो एक मूवमेंट और उनका जब इंटरेस्ट डेवलप हो रहा है तो और ज्यादा उनकी स्टडी भी स्ट्रांग हो रही है, वो इन्वॉल्व भी हो रहे हैं तो और ज्यादा ड्राइंग भी कर पा रहे हैं। सो लाइक सेकेंड जो प्रोसेस था उसमें कि थ्रू एक्शन वो भी समझना था कि एक्शन और मूवमेंट कैसे आता है। सो वो खुद से ऑब्जेक्ट एनिमेशन, जो उनके सराउंडिंग एनिमेशन जो ऑब्जेक्ट्स थे उनको लेकर ऑब्जेक्ट एनिमेशन उन्होंने खुद से किया, सेल्फ मतलब एक कैमरे से उन्होंने सारे ऑब्जेक्ट्स को अरेंज किया, उसमें एक मूवमेंट्स लाए और वो सारी चीजें उन्होंने डिजाइन करनी शुरू की। तो उससे इंटरेस्ट ये था कि वो मूवमेंट तो समझ रहे थे बट बहुत ही इजी वे में, बहुत ही फैमिलियर, मतलब उनके सराउंडिंग में चीजें थी। तो मैंने देखा कि कहीं ना कहीं एनिमेशन प्रोसेस ऐड होने से और मूविंग इमेजेस ऐड होने से उनका एक्साइटमेंट लेवल बढ़ तो गया और साथ में जो स्किल उन्होंने डेवलप किया था थ्रू कटआउट एंड थ्रू ड्राइंग्स, और वो बहुत ज्यादा और अपग्रेड होने लगा। और जब इन्वॉल्व हुए तो उन्होंने एक्साइटमेंट के साथ और ज्यादा ड्राइंग शुरू किया। सो ये पूरे प्रोसेस में उन्होंने जो एनिमेशन डिजाइन किया, तो वो एनिमेशन क्या था कि प्रोसेस जो था पूरा का पूरा कि कैसे एनिमेशन लीड करेंगे। तो उसके लिए सबसे पहले कैरेक्टर, और कैरेक्टर के लिए जो उनके वो बहुत कुछ शेयर करते थे बीच में, मतलब उनको बात करने की आदत थी, कभी अपने बारे में फिर अपनी पर्सनल चीजें बात करें, उनकी पसंद नापसंद क्या है। सो कहीं ना कहीं ये कन्वर्सेशन हमारे स्टोरी टेलिंग के लिए एक बिल्डअप और बहुत ज्यादा हेल्पफुल रहा, क्योंकि जब वो जब बात करते थे तो उसमें एक चीज बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग थी कि उनके एक ड्रीम में कैरेक्टर, जो उनके ड्रीम्स में कैरेक्टर डेवलप होते हैं, जो उनके स्टोरीज जो है उन्होंने सोच रखी है, सो वो एक्सप्रेस कर रहे थे। और उस एक्सप्रेशन में क्या था कि कैरेक्टर वो ड्रॉ भी कर पा रहे थे, तो उन्होंने कैरेक्टर डिजाइन किया जो उनके इमेजिनेशन कैरेक्टर थे वो कहीं ना कहीं जो एग्जिस्टिंग कैरेक्टर से कहीं भी रिजेंबल नहीं करते। दैट वाज द बेस्ट पार्ट कि वो खुद से एक नरेशन और कैरेक्टर डिजाइन करके उसके प्रॉप्स, उसके डायलॉग्स, उसके सराउंडिंग्स, उसके बैकग्राउंड्स को वो कहीं ना कहीं वो बहुत अच्छे से थ्रू स्टोरीज वो कर पा रहे थे। और उसी प्रोसेस में उन्होंने काफी इंटरेस्टिंग कैरेक्टर डिजाइन किए और उससे उन्होंने एक एनिमेशन जो कि मैं शेयर करूंगा।
Mom, can I go outside?
No. Do your study.
Mom?
No.
I wish I could fly.
Wow.
So best part is like जो पूरे एनिमेशन मूवीज उन्होंने बनाई, बहुत ही शॉर्ट मूवीज थी, 1 मिनट की, लेकिन सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट था कि उनका इन्वॉल्वमेंट, जैसे डायलॉग क्रिएट करना है, सो दे वर लाइक इन अ ग्रुप और वो आपस में डायलॉग क्रिएट, शुरू में हेजिटेशन है लेकिन फिर धीरे धीरे वो कॉन्फिडेंस डेवलप होना, तो एक ने नहीं किया तो दूसरे ने उसको रोक के फिर वो डायलॉग्स क्रिएट कर रहा है, एंड देन एवरीथिंग लाइक जो फुट स्टेप है उन्होंने खुद से रिकॉर्ड किए हैं, और उसमें जैसे कुछ स्क्रैचेस लाइक विंड के ब्लो है तो उन्होंने खुद से रिकॉर्ड किए सारे। सो ये पूरे एंगेजमेंट इन्वॉल्वमेंट लाइक पोस्ट प्रोडक्शन तक का उनका जो कंटेंट है उन्होंने खुद से डिजाइन किया। सो ये बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग एक्सपीरियंस था, और उनके खुद के मतलब ये ऐसा नहीं था कि मैं कुछ प्रिपेयर कर रहा हूँ, वो खुद से डिजाइन कर रहे थे, सब कुछ प्रिपेयर कर रहे थे। दैट वाज द इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट की जो इन्वॉल्वमेंट था खुद ब खुद एनिमेशन देखने के बाद उनका, कैसे इसमें साउंड करना है, कैसे उसमें डायलॉग्स क्रिएट करने हैं, तो वो बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट था। एंड सेकंड थिंग कि जब प्रोसेस कंटिन्यू हुआ, फिर उसके बाद हमने नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्ले एनिमेशन और उसके और फर्दर स्टेज पे, जिसमें कि स्टेज डिजाइन और वो, लेकिन उसके बीच में एक गैप आया और जो सिचुएशंस, पैंडेमिक सिचुएशंस आए, तो फिर सारी चीजें बिल्कुल अभी कि एक ब्रेक के बाद फिर से बच्चों के साथ इंटरेक्ट करना, और उस लॉकडाउन के प्रोसेस में सारी चीजें ऐसी थी कि आई एम शेयरिंग वर्क्स विद कि जैसे जब हम उनके साथ काफी टाइम के बाद 2 से 3 महीने के बाद रिकनेक्ट होने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, तो बहुत सी चीजें थी दिमाग में कि कैसे रिकनेक्ट होंगे, कैसे मॉड्यूल्स में कैसे हम उसको प्रोसीड करेंगे पूरा प्रोसेस। तो सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट था कि जो फर्स्ट क्लास में, और वो जो फिजिकल प्रेजेंस होती है जो क्लास की, वो वर्चुअली कैसे फुलफिल होगा। तो उसके लिए जो सबसे पहले क्या था कि जो उन्होंने किया था वर्क्स, जो उन्होंने प्रीवियस वर्क्स किए थे, वो उनको दिखा के वहां से हमने कन्वर्सेशन शुरू किया। तो क्या हुआ कि इन्वॉल्वमेंट जो था, और वो इन्वॉल्वमेंट जो उनके खुद के काम से जब देखा उन्होंने स्क्रीन पे, तो कहीं ना कहीं हमारे कम्युनिकेशंस इजी हो गई, थोड़ा सा शेयरिंग की, किस तरह से वो अपने काम को समझ पा रहे हैं। फिर 2 से 3 महीने के बाद अंडरस्टैंडिंग जो उनके खुद के काम की थी, उनके ऊपर कन्वर्सेशन शुरू हुई। कन्वर्सेशन के बाद हमने काफी बातें की, जो एक मेरा एक्सपीरियंस खुद का, जो मेरे एक्सपीरियंस की मैंने जो प्रोसेस किया था, वर्क्स उनके साथ शेयर किया, उनके वर्क्स जो उन्होंने फील किए, जो वो उन्होंने क्या किया, उनकी एक्टिविटीज कैसी रही और किस तरह से उन्होंने टाइम स्पेंड किया, वो सारी चीजें शेयर हो गया, तो काफी इजी हो गया। फिर वो थोड़ा सा एक स्पेस बहुत ही नॉर्मल हो गया, और फिर वो बिल्कुल लगा नहीं कि ऐसे कि हम डिजिटल स्पेस पे बात कर रहे हैं, और वो प्रेजेंस ऐसा लग रहा था कि बॉडीली प्रेजेंस है एक दूसरे के सामने, और बहुत ही इजी फिर कैरी ऑन करने के लिए हमें बहुत इजी हो गया हमारा बाकी प्रोसेस करने के लिए। तो उसमें जैसे कि स्ट्रक्चर भी डिजाइन करना है, मॉड्यूल डिजाइन करना है, तो वो उनके पास जो मटेरियल अवेलेबल था उसका भी उन्होंने काफी, मतलब जो मटेरियल रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल थे उसके हिसाब से मॉड्यूल डिजाइन हुई। और वो सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट था कि जो गैलरीज से आर्टिस्ट थे या फिर काफी आर्ट वर्क्स थे, वो थ्रू स्लाइड शो प्रेजेंटेशंस उनसे शेयर किए गए। तो पोर्ट्रेट्स की हमने क्लास ली, जिसमें कि डिफरेंट आर्टिस्ट के पोर्ट्रेट्स शेयर किए, और उनसे उनका जो पोर्ट्रेट्स को लेकर, जिस तरह से खुद को लेकर किस तरह से क्यूरियोसिटी है, वो किस तरह से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं थ्रू इमेज अपने आप को, वो सारी बातें, तो काफी इंटरेस्टिंग हो रहा था। पर्सनल चीजों में ज्यादा फोकस्ड होने हम हो पा रहे थे। और मॉड्यूल में एक चीज और थी कि जैसे कुछ डेमो देना है, तो डेमो के लिए हमेशा ट्यूटोरियल ब्राउज करने से अच्छा, गूगल यूट्यूब पे जाने से अच्छा मैंने खुद से कुछ ट्यूटोरियल्स क्रिएट किए और वो ट्यूटोरियल्स उनके साथ शेयर किए, तो उन्होंने मेरा प्रेजेंस भी बहुत अच्छे से स्क्रीन पे फील किया, तो वो एक कनेक्शन बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग होता है। उनके पास भी काफी क्वेश्चन है, सर आपने कैसे बनाया और ये किस तरह से चीजें हैं इसको, तो वो भी इंगेजिंग होके वो भी काम उन्होंने ऑन द स्पॉट जस्ट मतलब विद इन 2 आवर्स के बीच में उन्होंने सारे आउटपुट्स भी दिए। बहुत से इंटरेस्टिंग काम उनका, जो कि ये वर्क्स हैं उनके, सराउंडिंग्स को एक्सप्लोर करना, जो भी उनके बालकनी से, और हमने कुछ इमेजेस दिए जिसको उन्हें कॉपी करना था, बट इस उनके अपने ढंग से वो करना था। तो कुछ वैन गॉग्स के वर्क्स जो कि उन्होंने काफी अपने थॉट प्रोसेस से बनाया ये।
Wow. Thank you so much, Tahsin, for sharing these wonderful works with us, and watching these animations made me really think that they really reflect what all of us are also going through in this pandemic time. They're bang on. And at this point, I would like to invite Basanti to reflect a bit on what the responses have been from their end, and from of the entire process, of the first few workshops. What were their responses? And because the space of the care home is also a very kind of a slightly different kind of a collective space, where the process of mentorship and facilitation, where imagining of the future and the new ways of becoming take more active precedence before entering with any particular module or pedagogical system.
It's a process. It is a process. And just before I start discussing about the fellowship itself, I'll just say a few words about Tara, so that you know where I'm talking from, and a bit more about the children. So Tara is a Delhi-based NGO working towards child protection and empowerment. We run 3 homes for children, care homes, and we also have a community-based program. The children who participate in the fellowship program, 18 of them, boys and girls, they were between 12 and 18, and they have been under our care for 5 to 10 years now. So they have been placed under our responsibility because they have been victims of extreme violence. They were either on the streets, or some of them have been sexually abused, some of them have been trafficked, exploited. And the mission of Tara Homes is to provide a family-like environment, a safe place where the children can heal, feel respected, and taken care of. And we also believe that providing them access to quality education is key to the development of their potential and to their future success. But quality education is not only going to a good school. It's also, providing them with opportunities where they can learn and discover their skills, discover their talents, and express themselves. And Artreach Fellowship is definitely one of those opportunities. And I'm really, really thankful for the great work achieved here by all of you. And thank you for this opportunity, because it means a lot for them, for Tara. And the fact that you continued, that we completed the fellowship under these circumstances is quite amazing, and I think the children are very grateful too. So art for children who are living in a home, it's I think it's well known that art is very often a therapy, and I think it gives them the opportunity to express feelings that are sometimes very hard to express with words. And And I think during the fellowship, they discovered many techniques. And they had to work alone, but also in groups, and through those different experiences, even if I think the first sessions were a bit challenging, because it's, you know, it takes, it's a long day, it happens on Sundays. Sundays, it's their free day, it's TV time. It's not, you know, you don't cut the TV time to do art. So I guess, yeah, the first sessions were a bit challenging, but it's a process, and then slowly I think the team of Artreach has bonded with the children and has opened their minds to different, as I said, different techniques, and also made them comfortable exploring, because it's not easy. I mean, the six of us, tomorrow you ask us to do clay modeling. I mean, maybe some of you are experts, but you know, it's gonna be difficult to create something, to make something. So it takes a lot of patience from the mentors. And I think for the children, it takes time, because they need to open up. And those children don't trust adults easily. So yeah, maybe they need a little more time to, you know, make sure that they can express themselves freely in front of people they don't know. And yeah, I think the fellowship helped them explore emotion. Then I think when you watch the animated videos, you can see that very well. Like, you know, they can express fear, they can express joy, dreams. There's a lot of magic, you know, fantasies. So I think it's been a great journey. Even if we have some children who even want to pursue art as a career, and I think it gives them a lot of hope to see so many people involved in a project like this, because it you know, it's possible. And I think it also has an impact on their identity. And this exhibition, and the fact that you know, it's displayed online in such a well-known museum. And the day before yesterday, we had the journalists talking to a few children, and we had 5 volunteers to talk to the journalists, because it's an acknowledgement for them. And we work with children who are discriminated, who have been traumatized, who have been molested, and keep on being discriminated. So being part of such a project for them, it's basically sending them the message that they are part of this society, and they have a role to play, and they have a voice. And I think it's very, very positive. Yeah, overall. And I've heard them complaining at the beginning, you know it, that I've heard them complaining. And I think the team of Artreach was clever enough to, you know, play football in between the sessions and all, and share the life of the children to bond with them. And then it went on, and then they were able to create such great work. So I think what's great with working with Artreach is that you are able to adapt. You're not coming to teach, as in you are coming with, you are proposing an experience. And you're very flexible, and you know, you take what the children are able to give throughout the sessions, throughout the year. And the team is very non-judgmental, you know, they do things with them. And especially when you work with teenagers, also because, you know, the children were between 12 and 18, and it's an age where so many things are going on. Especially for children who have been traumatized because they go through again, you know, the family story and who I am in this world, in this society. So they are going through a lot during teenage, and I think it's not always easy to understand that. But yeah, as I said, everyone from Artreach was sensitive enough to just welcome them as they are and guide them to create, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, the kind of sensitivity and humility that
Yes.
is required in creating safe space of learning and that sort of an environment. And I remember Tahsin mentioning this yesterday also while in our conversation, that how the process of creating that environment itself is the real work, and the amount of time that takes.
You come to their homes.
Yeah.
So it's their safe place, and yeah, they take a little time to let you in. I mean, you know, they're coming in the premises and coming in their life, and but it has worked beautifully. And there is, I think, one big achievement in this fellowship is that we have art classes in Tala homes, but the children were mostly used to, you know, copy, duplicate thing that, you know, with a model and all that. So they had developed some techniques, but they were very reluctant to you know, take a blank paper and do something on my own. And I had talked to Ita before we started the fellowship and saying that, you know, I would love them to allow themselves to imagine more, you know, like to develop their imagination and create. And I think it has happened. I don't know how, but it did happen, and I keep seeing the children drawing on their own, and it's beautiful work.
You know, with this, I would like to ask Atul to come in, and you know, Atul, you're yourself an educator, and you know, with 16 plus years of teaching experience in school, and now you're at the Shiv Nara University mentoring fine art students who are, you know, preparing for their master's degree in art, and you know, and you've been involved with Artreach Teaching Fellowship since the beginning. And so what led you to shape this, and how is it different from all these spaces that you have also been involved with? You have to unmute yourself, Atul.
I found it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Akansha. And I'd like to congratulate Tahsin and the Artreach team for a wonderful year, another wonderful year of the fellowship. And it's an amazing experience to be part of this Artreach program, and I think it's an extremely important, and there should be more of them around the country where we kind of. And what for me is important is the length of the program, because it's a year-long program. You continuously meet your students, continuously engage with them over a 1 week period, 2 week, and the thinking processes continues over the year. So that doesn't stop with a 1 week workshop, 2-day workshop, 3-day workshop. So the process of continuously thinking and continuously be engaging, and to kind of which invigorates thinking and also generates this personal space that Ita was also talking of, and the imagination and the introspection much needed today to become adults, which we kind of, you know, of where do these students who are already been in very exceptional circumstances, they come out from very exceptional circumstances, which nobody should be going through. But to come out of that, to actually express themselves, that is the best part of it. I have been teaching, after being an artist, you cannot actually make a living of art. It's a myth, actually. I should point out that artists make living of art, but most of them do auxiliary work in the hospital. And I chose to teach, and I taught 17.5 years in a high school in Janakpuri, right? and I still have contacts there. And and then I left teaching for a while, and then I got the opportunity to kind of start off the MFA master's program and was the founding faculty at the Shiv Nadar University for it. And we have had the students come over at the Shiv Nadar University, which was very, very interesting, because we had them come over when they go and actually visit. So what happens when we do a BFA, or what happens when we do an MFA? So we had the Artreach students, the students who were, I think they were under Sonam and one's under Vandana, and they had come over to the our studios, where they asked very pertinent questions to the MFA students, who take it for granted that they have become artists. And they would say, okay, you're going to become an artist, but where are you going to earn your living from? Right? So, okay, what if you don't sell a single painting? What if you don't sell a single sculpture? All of those things. So I think it is extremely important, and Artreach is doing a tremendous program. I don't know how much time we have, but I don't think we have much time. So I'm just going to stop here. But I like to congratulate the whole team, especially congratulate Tahsin for what the wonderful effort he has done. And I think we need more of these. And that's why I was part of this, is because it's like making a difference, and a difference that will run much, much deeper. They're not small workshops, but the whole length of the program was 1 year.
Atul, if you want to expand, feel free to do so. Kristine has lost her internet connection,
okay.
So she might join in a bit.
I mean, what I was that a lot of questions came up. I can go back to what the students came to the MFA, and they asked the students, and one important question was, okay, what do you do when you become an artist? Right? So one very question, and it's a very pertinent question coming from where you have to earn a living, and you have to face the world. If you live on your own, get out in the world at the age of 18, move out of the homes, and then face the world. How do you face the world, and what do you do? So it's extremely important to get hold of, and that's why the students who are coming to me as interns, they had wanted to get into College of Art, wanted to get into an art college to actually take up the profession of being an artist. They may or may not become artists, because we never know, but then at least they're engaged with the auxiliary fields, or where you're with the art world, or you can be your intelligence, your artistic intelligence, spatial intelligence, emotional intelligence within the art field can continuously be used. So that, I think that is extremely important, and that's what the program actually does, is to bring out these various intelligences, spatial, emotional intelligence, that you kind of bring in with the artwork, and then the engagement carries on for the whole year. That is extremely important, and thank you also to KNMA who have given that support of the years to actually show the work at the venue at the KNMA. So I think that I should now and let others.
We have, I mean, at KNMA, we really value this fellowship, and we have been supporting it regularly for the last 4 years. So one question that I want to put to all the panelists is about, vis-a-vis the entire art education system in India, because this, to my mind, is at least one of the key moments where the artists also get involved in creating their own modules, creating their own structures, where they're free, and where they're, they can bring elements from their own practices, so where their own practice and what they can be and do in relationship with the students and with the environment that they're entering into, so it's like it creates some sort of potential space for newness, in all spectrums, and thus I mean, we call it the exhibition, but that's more like a form gearing towards what has in realizing what has happened through the year, and you get to see at the end of it what all you've been thinking about, and so it's just a lens to put it all together, but how to actually look at it from a young artist's perspective also, and because there are a huge number of artists entering into education, and there are more and more artist educators in India. So how do you place this ground of practice
Can I just answer?
Yes.
In fact, I just answer this and then. No, because I think it's a wonderful opportunity for young artists to get involved in and to apply, because it gives them, like you said, that you can actually try out because you've been through a certain art education in your high school, whatever school, and then you've done a BFA, then you've done an MFA. You've been through certain kinds of pedagogic processes, and then you put them together. And if you are a thinking individual, you kind of take out you filter it out that, okay, I didn't go through this, I wanted this more, I wanted that more, I wanted this more. So you kind of filter the best out that you have been through, and then you present it to people to students and who you think should need the most. It's also the question of giving back. So that is what teaching involves. I've been in teaching for a long time. It's a question, and it's extremely satisfying to give back. So that giving back has to be inculcated with a lot of artists. I'm sure all artists give back in some way or other, but teaching would be the best way, and to have interns to be the best way to kind of give that. So this is also involves a kind of a multi-layered, long durational giving back, and for the most wonderful cause.
I see Kristine has joined back. Hello again. I mean, we were just wondering where you went meanwhile. So I remember, you mentioned, yesterday when we were talking about the peer-to-peer sharing that you've kind of encouraged in your interaction, over the years, over the 5 years, with students of British School and the students from care homes, different care homes that have visited British School. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yes. So it's been an absolute honor and also a privilege to have been involved with so many committed people at Artreach. So Diksha and
I think her.
Yeah, the light is gone.
Yeah, light is gone. I think her connection.
Yeah. So again, from the phone, where it is gone.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. I wanted to add to the question that you had asked, Akansha, about young artists. So we have every year at Artreach, there's more and more young artists who've just either graduated, completely fresh first years, or within like the first few years, second or third year of like having graduated of their MFAs mostly. And that's like every year there's more and more young people applying to lead programs, whether it's the teaching fellowship or the smaller kind of, we have teaching residencies as well. So 3-month-long workshops, So there is obviously a huge interest, I feel, in teaching, and that's growing as there are more and more art schools as well. And so that is an interest. But I think what you never, when you're learning art, and even if you're really, really skilled, the methodologies of teaching to discover what pedagogy is, that space is still not really, I mean, either we have people around you and friends or, teachers who really help you out, or you're often struggling to understand what you do in the classroom space, even if you're very interested in it and you're very skilled. So Artreach has definitely, I feel, over the past few years grown in that capacity as well, of allowing artists who are really interested in education definitely have the potential to do it, to experiment with it with sensitivity, and also have intensive dialogues with the team and the advisory. So as much time as we spend in the classroom, we spend with ourselves at our office space, at at the trial workshops, with the care home teams, with the school, if you're going to a school for underprivileged children somewhere, then with the school team. There's a lot of intensive planning, thinking about, and conversation that goes into this. And at the end of the year, we're often having artists say, but this was so nice to just have these conversations. And, and that is part of very much now we look at as the work that can be done within Artreach. And we'd like to do more and more of these kind of meetings where, or experiments of educators being able to, young educators thinking together of what can be done. Okay, I think Kristine.
Yeah, she's joined in, and maybe Kristine, you can continue. Can you hear us?
Yes, okay. So I was just saying that it's really been an honor and also a great privilege to be involved with Artreach, because this started many years ago with long conversations between me and Diksha. And of course, Diksha, Charity, Ita, and all of the, sort of fellows and the artists who have been there at Artreach, Ani, Vandana, Megha, and Sonam, they've all been absolutely wonderful. And it's been a great learning process for us as well. Now, as an artist and as an educator, I just want to speak a little bit first about creative thinking, because I feel really, really strongly about this. And I found that arts practice really with, young people, it impacts core learning skills. And this is important in terms of any sort of pedagogy that, that we deal with. And the way in which young people engage with learning through the arts is just so intensive. And because it transforms your brain into a thinking and a creative mind. And it takes all these varied forms of experience that one has had, and it has converted it into this mind-altering device where you express yourself. And it has a profound impact on young people when they learn to think and what they're able to think about. Because it activates the senses after all. And the senses are the outposts of the mind. And thus how the sensibilities are employed and the sort of qualities to which they are directed, and the refinement and the differentiation of perception help to shape the way in which we think. And ultimately, it does change their entire perception of their environment, about who they are and their space within the world. So the arts far exceeds the boundaries of the verbal, sort of literal, language, even if it deals with metaphor and poetry, but it is a language through which both meaning and mind are also promoted and expressed. And I mean, for me, I think it makes three major contributions to all our lives, being artists, being, it's just talking about creativity here. The first is that it provides a way and a means through which the meanings can be communicated. It gives you the opportunities for the individual to use and really develop your mind in a distinctive way through learning to think through a medium. So this for me as a clay person, as a sculptor, is really important, is the entire materiality of actually making something. And we've seen today that every education that we see now is going away from that materiality. It's going into much more sort of logical thinking, scientific thinking, and that's being promoted by schools and sort of educational systems. So it also it gives you a practice with an art form that starts with learning the tools and also the materials. And this is what the fellowship does. It gives you access to start to express yourself. And this leads to different qualities. And I'm just going to use some adjectives here, which I think are really key adjectives in what all the people who have been through the Artreach over these years have highlighted and spoken about. Firstly, you learn to focus and to concentrate the mind. And we spoke about here about the entire creation of a personal space within a mayhem of chaos, but to be able to control and to persevere at an art task, and then to visualize. To ideate. You can also sort of think of possible next steps, to express, to learn to create work that can convey an idea, a feeling, and to also to observe how others have created and communicated, and learn to look beyond just the physical and noticing things that might get lost, things within the environment or things that have affected you, but sometimes you don't actually look at them. And these are ways of seeing that in the art and with sort of creative thinking are really important. and then to reflect and to think and to be able to talk and to express about one's work and the process of making it, along with judging it with certain standards. They all have standards, and you know, that's nice to see. And basically to allow that personality to stretch and explore, to reach beyond what they conceive as their constraint. I can't draw, you know, what they can see as their sort of limitations, and to explore playfully. That's important, to bring that element of play into the arts, and to learn from their mistakes and to learn from accidents. And also in some way to understand the history and the practice of the art form that they are, you know, sort of engaging in. And, you know, to come back to the different ways of thinking, there is lateral thinking and there is vertical thinking. We all know about that. But there's this sort of polarity between the two thinking processes that education systems have seemed to sort of promote. On the one hand, you've got the sort of tradition of logical reasoning, and then you've got the lateral thinking, which is really the really creative thinking, which involves disrupting an apparent thinking sequence and arriving at a solution from another more creative angle. And this is really empowering students, empowering young people by adding strength to their natural abilities of curiosity and of questioning. And it improves creativity and innovation. And these, I think, are really 21st century skills of creativity and innovation are the engines that will drive us and will drive their lives for the 21st century. But one has to understand that creativity is not the opposite of control and discipline. You know, it's being creative in any field involves a deep factual knowledge and high levels of practical skill. So cultivating creativity is one of the most interesting challenges that we try to do as Artreach. So it's not a formalized education system. It's not a formalized way of teaching just one particular, this is the way you draw a tree, but it's much, much more than that. And it's not a linear process. And it's not true that to do creative work in any field, you need to first master the skills and concepts. It's not true. And the 5 years has shown us that. Focusing on skills, you know, by themselves can in fact kill creativity at some way. So through the Arts Fellowship and through the engagement with all of these young people, I think Artreach is aimed to create thinkers who are also lifelong learners and taking their skills and their understanding of concepts into other areas. And it's been really transformative and something that will remain in their lives, you know, forever. So I think the artists who we've had who have engaged with the fellowship have also spoken about the deep change in their own approach, their own practice, their own experience. And my small offering each year is also with the students of the British School and specifically with my senior sculpture students, because I think that this is a great opportunity for them to have this peer-to-peer, they're all about the same age, 15, 16, 18. And it's an exchange, we only get one day, which is sad. We really want to have more, but it's an exchange through sort of material, and it's led and formulated by the students. I mean, Megha and, you know, Vandana and I have always stepped back and try to only give the, you know, the drinks and the food and the whatever, and just allow the kids to start to interact with each other. And so they do clay, they do hand building, they do modeling, they work on the wheel. For them, this is incredible. This is a real experience because clay is very immediate. And some of the surprising students, you know, come up with these skills. And one of the icebreakers that I wanted to share with you, which is what we use to, you know, to get the kids talking and, you know, to get the fun going and the playfulness going, is an animal exercise that they have to make in, you know, specifically 60 seconds or something. So they just give a word, you know, like a tortoise or a snake or whatever. And you know, it's just fun to see how within like a couple of minutes, there's a sharing of animals, there's a sharing of things and, you know, all of that. So it's really nice. And for our students as well, to come from such a privileged background and to see and to, you know, relate and to see and to experience this is something that has been really transformative for them as well. And personally for me, I mean, I've been doing arts education at various sort of levels, not only with, you know, young people, but with also with adults. I was at a residency at the Clay Studio, Philadelphia, many, many years ago. And I know as a young artist who had just sort of graduated, what a deep impression working with in clay that I did with, you know, inner city schools, with AIDS patients and AIDS shelters, and with sort of battered women centers and shelters. And it's amazing to see how art can offer a way of really communicating a personal narrative. I mean, it could be trauma, it could be enjoyment, it could be happiness, which is really cathartic for both the maker as well as the audience. And it starts a conversation off. And so I've been really very, very happy to be associated with Artreach. Thank you, Ita. Thank you, Tahsin. And we hope to have many, many more fellowships.
Yeah, thank you, Kristine. That just foregrounds the fact that we need more fellowships like that. And I strongly think that we need to inculcate more and more of these informal spaces, you know, where there's kind of educational alternatives or mutual learning and non-hierarchical ways of thinking and creative thinking can be evolved. So we definitely need more fellowships, and I've been telling Chati and Diksha also time and again. So we have two comments in a question and answer right now. I would just read them out, and we have actually crossed our time limit already. So I'll quickly read them out. This one is from Jyoti Mohan. Please do share how one can join this fellowship program. So there is an open call that will be made again this year around July, right, Ita?
Yes, we hope to do that. Yeah.
So maybe this time, if you're able to manage to have 2 fellowships, I don't know, I'm just thinking aloud.
Absolutely.
You know, it requires, you know, more work and thinking. And then we have Neha Grewal saying, and it's an excellent dialogue. The hope is that we can further develop this in several pockets of individual practice and then to engage with each other as educationists. Well said, yeah. Neha. Yeah, we definitely need to deepen this dialogue and, you know, take it forward.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the ideas that we've been talking about a lot, is to have these parallel to the fellowships and educators going in and leading, is these meetings and kind of conclaves of educators thinking together. And this is a critical moment to do it because the disparity in education is increasing. And as creative thinkers, it's not just about being creative when we're in the space. It's also about creatively thinking of what the problems are. And there will always be new problems. So if there is a pandemic today and there is bad governance also, then how do we creatively access and look at accessibility? And it is not impossible. There is various systems that we can tap into. If there is a smartphone somewhere that can be used, even artists I know of using the postal system to post, you know, little packages of things that can be done, can be made and sent to a student, and students can send back. So to at least come together to share these methods to begin with. And yeah,
there's a question for Kristine here. What's the contradiction between scientific thinking and clay material practice? I think, do you want to clarify the point that you made?
Yeah, well, you know, scientific thinking is all about reasoning. It's all about logical reasoning and sort of sequential reasoning, deductive reasoning, and inductive reasoning. But creativity goes through all these things, you know, it's from another way. And I think that that's really important to sort of bring in, because I really believe that these are 21st century skills that we need to equip young people for. It's not the way I was educated. The world has changed so much, and their world is going to change so much. It's changing drastically within the last 10 years. Look at how sort of technology has taken over. Look at the skills they need today. And I think that any program that deals with young people has to think of their future. You can't just regurgitate what you learned, 40 years ago in school. That does not work anymore.
I guess what you
I hope I've answered you.
Yeah, what you're also trying to say is is focusing on chance and accidents and intuition more, which is what art making sometimes, and imagination. Yes,
and imagination, and
So thank you. Thanks to all the panelists. We couldn't meet this year, like always, but this was our way to celebrate the exhibition. So one at least feels that we met in some ways. So thank you so much for joining, and please, to our audience watching us, do visit the website, teachingfellowship.net. And we look forward to meet you at the museum whenever we open our doors again. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and congratulations to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.